At the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Ghosts. Ghost is the sign of water or cups in the traditional decks, and that would represent your Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces person, potentially. Some kind of loving energy. But I'm feeling from you guys a lot of happiness and a lot of joy. Our next card up that is being brought to my attention, as well as the Magician card, could represent a Gemini. But with this, I'm really seeing that somebody's very happy. They're manifesting something. Some of you guys have had a lot of work drama over the past several months. This is really about loving what you do and enjoying being a master creator, and somebody who can work with all the different elements to manifest. And this is a soul card. This is a major arcana card. So it's not just your basic earthly concerns. This is about who you are and really readily coming into that. Even though this is King of Ghosts, I think for a lot of you, Aries, this is about you. And just feeling that joy and that love and really feeling that connect with your spiritual purpose. So let's see how the rest of these play out. And I was kind of getting a sense, like a really joyful, happy sense from you. This Hermit card here in the reverse. Now, in the upright, he's somebody who goes within so that he can learn and connect and develop his potential. And sometimes we need our sacred alone space to be able to do that, to really connect with who we are and our purpose. And in the reverse, he's kind of coming out of that energy. He's gone within. He's gone in his man cave or in the meditation space or the meditation room, whatever that would be for you. It doesn't have to be a he. I don't know. I'm saying he. But but he's coming out of that energy, right? And bringing it forward. Again, I feel like this hermit is coming out of the cave with a sense of peace and calm and knowing of who he is, and also the really strong powers of manifestation right now. I'm excited for you guys. I really am. This just really feels great for me right now. The Two of Pumpkins is about having a lot of things on your plate and being able to juggle them and balance them successfully. Even the pumpkins are smiling, and the cat and the moon here are kind of looking at him incredulously. Like, how is it that you're able to do all of this stuff all at once? How are you manifesting? We got the Loch Ness Monster who's going, wow, dude, you rock. You're amazing. Right? Like this is the rare sight, the person who's happy and juggling all these things, right? We have another juggler down below you. Beneath you, we have the Fool. This is about that blind leap of faith and being able to juggle all of these things all at once. In fact, we've got a ton of jugglers here because the Magician, in this deck, he's pulling things out of a hat, but in the other decks, it's kind of like he's juggling the different elements as well. So there's a lot of ability to keep many balls in the air all at once and not get lost or confused in all of that. Very, very good energy. Behind you, your recent past, we have this collaboration effort, somebody who's skilled and making it happen, right? 3 is a magic number. It's a very stable number. 3 points make a plane, right? In geometry class, we learned that. Your 4-legged table or your 4-legged chair, one could be shorter than the other, wobbly. It could be knocking off balance. But even if you've got, in a 3-legged stool, it's always in balance. Why? Because those 3 points make a plane, whereas the 4th might kind of knock them out of whack. And then you're going back and forth between 2 different planes. Anyway, I don't want to get too geometrical, but this is just really positive manifestation energy, but it also embodies the spirit of cooperation. When you think about 2 individuals coming together to use their skills and their craft to create a third thing, the business or the union of those 2 people, or the symbolic child, or whatever it is that 2 guys in business or 2 people in business get together and they create something together, whatever that product, good, or service is. So again, this is about getting back on your feet, getting back on your path in your job, your creative endeavor, and really bringing your A game. Really bringing your A game here. Now, in your future, we see this. This is your 9 of Ghosts. This is the wish fulfillment card. Wish fulfillment. Getting what you want. This person's alone. He's solitary here. Ghost is cups. I may have mentioned that earlier, I think. And really just that sense of spiritual fulfillment and contentment This king is master of his craft. And he's loving what he's doing, and you could not see a bigger shit-eating grin on here. I guess I should say like cat eat the canary grin, whatever. But you really, really see that kind of happiness element that's coming here. Even the ghosts are cheering him on, or her, or it, whatever. Crowning you. In the last two readings, I keep skipping over the crowning until like later on, but what's on your mind, what you're thinking about is this chariot. In the upright, he's moving, and he's moving really quickly. Right? He's at the wheel. Everybody's kind of a little bit scared about how fast he's driving. In the reverse, this is less of a speed racer energy, more like a driving Miss Daisy. But I still feel like there's a very quick energy here. I think you're concerned maybe that there might be a slowdown in everything that you're doing and manifesting. There may be that sense of a slowing down. Or a concern that you may be slowing down. I really don't see that here. I don't see that really playing out for you. Whatever it is that you want, you're going to get. This card does remind me too, the chariot here, that we drive towards what we're looking at. So if you're thinking about your worries and you're thinking about your concerns, for some of you, it may be that you manifest those things because you're worried about them. Best to let the future take care of itself. Do your best in this now moment, and the future will take care of itself. We can only control I as an individual can only control what I think, say, or do. I can't control random things out in my environment. But if I worry about things, that's when I make a misstep and, I'm focusing on something else. So I'm more likely to create that, even inadvertently, by putting out some bad energy into the atmosphere. So be careful, where you're driving. Maintain your sense of focus. These cards here, this magician is very focused on what he's manifesting. He wanted to pull a rabbit out of a hat, and he did it, right? He did it. So remember, with this chariot, don't worry. Don't worry that you're going to have a rough time, because that's not what's playing out here. We see this wish fulfillment right here, okay? You will be getting what you want. Just be careful that you're focusing on pulling the rabbit out and not on some other trick or whatever. Now, there still may be some lingering energy from the past. I do remember a few months back, there was some negative energy from the past. There's something that you had to leave behind, but you're so much the better for it. So much the better for it. And some of you still might be thinking about, what is it that I need to leave behind? I want to move on and do something completely different. There's this collaboration effort here. This may open the door to new beginnings. This may be why we're seeing such powerful energy from you in the field of manifestation, because you're trying to put it together and figure out what it is that you love. What do you love about your situation, your talents, skills, and abilities, your job, your career, your profession, your business that you're trying to create for yourself? What is that? And what are the elements that you need to leave behind so that you can live in this King of Ghosts energy? Page of Pumpkins. Manifestation, curiosity, education, learning. You have the skills. She's put her books down. She's doing some real world learning right now. But this is also about the beginning of economic opportunity. There's some kind of a symbolic baby that you're bringing into the world. I really do feel like this is a professional reading. Some of you may be creating that, and it's about partnering with this individual. This is going to bear fruit for you. She's holding an actual tangible pumpkin. She's not just reading about the theory of a pumpkin in a book, right? He is manifesting. Look he's got the bones of a fish. He's gotten the nutrients from that. He's got some more bones up here for the fish. That fish had skins and scales and whatever people like to eat with that crap. I don't like seafood at all. Can you tell? But anyway, he's got the cat that ate the canary grin on. Not me, man. Blech, yuck, fish. Ugh, seafood. Ugh. Whatever. One man's meat is another man's poison, right? But leaving something else behind is going to bring on the sense of contentment and happiness. Sometimes we have to straddle things that we're uncomfortable with as we transition from a less than best environment to something that's really positive. But we've got here this ghost. I don't know if you can see that. If I bring it in closer, it'll probably just make it blurry, but this ghost here is smiling. The pumpkin's smiling. The moon is smiling. Everything in here is indicating that this is a happy experience. You're finding a partner to work with. You're making it happen. Manifestation, the beginning of something new, right? Hopes and fears. This is jealousy right here. Jealousy. Somebody's not going to like what you're doing. And we see another 3. Here you're working positively with somebody to manifest something that bears real fruit. And then here we've got this jealousy, which is probably what you're leaving behind anyway. You're sick of people acting like an ass. Why does your success have to taint somebody else's life or happiness? Well, because this is low vibrational energy. People don't understand that there is abundance for everyone. Nobody needs to be left out in the cold. It is impossible that people have to be left out in the cold. But when you live in this negative type environment, when people are trying to suck you backwards into that negative environment, you're not going to be able to have the strength, the stamina, the power, the endurance, whatever it takes to do what you need to do to get that going on forward. This strength card in the reverse, right? In the upright, this is a wonderful situation. It's about the internal. This is symbolic of the internal strength that we have. In the reverse, it's a lack of strength. It could even be a Leo that's working at counter purposes against you. Do you have a Leo 9 boss? Leos who are operating in reverse or from lower negative energy can be very jealous, very possessive. Anyone can, believe me. I'm not trying to pick. I am a Leo. I'm not trying to pick on Leos. But when you've got low vibrational energy going on, people trying to hold you back for no other reason than that they are afraid that they can't do it for themselves. Be careful that with this strength in reverse like that you're not overly wielding your strength. You know what I mean? Like, don't be manipulative to an abusive point, verbally, physically, whatever, right? Don't misuse your strength in the future either to get what you want. You will get what you want. Be very, very careful, though, that some of this negative energy is not going to blow back on you because somebody else is going to wield their strength in a low vibrational way. Just be super duper careful about that. Now, let me see if I can put these back since I got them all in disarray. Get that. We got her there. We got the king and the magician over here. And let me go ahead and pull one of our oracle cards. Today, for oracle cards, I'm working with the Alice in Wonderland Oracle, Lucy Cavendish. Beautiful deck. I really, really enjoy this a lot. And we'll see what Spirit has to say. Maybe they've got some love, healing, help, guidance for you as you're trying to maintain your passion and your excitement for this. This really is such exciting energy. It really is. A lot of you finally feel like you've moved out of the rain clouds and you're into the sunshine. And that's exactly where you've been needing to be. So let's see, maybe Spirit's got some wisdom and advice through these oracle cards. Oops. So many I can't even... I can't take all of those. Oh, that one didn't want to go back in. Okay. I'm going to take it. Let's see. Although it's sort of weird, I would not have thought this card was going to come out just now. So we'll see. Nature communication, flower energies, fairy energies, and elemental messengers. "Oh, tiger lilies," said Alice, addressing herself to one that was waving gracefully about in the wind. "I wish you could talk." "We can talk," said the tiger lily, "when there's anybody worth talking to." With this card, Alice thinks that because the flowers are, well, flowers, that they cannot speak, reason, or communicate. They are not like her, and therefore she thinks that they cannot ever understand or connect with her. Alice assumes the same applies in the opposite direction, but to her surprise, the flowers in the world through the looking glass can speak, and they are very critical, very picky, and very aware of their choices. While they also make assumptions, thinking Alice to be a flower like them, yet unlike them, They reveal that most of the time they do not speak because they feel there simply isn't anybody worth talking to. Alice then realizes the flowers have recognized her as someone worth talking to, perhaps because she has praised their beauty and simply wished to be able to communicate. She also has humility and a desire to understand. When this card comes to you, do not make assumptions about people, creatures, or beings who seem too different for you to communicate with. There is always a way to bridge the gap between us. If you request for these beings to speak with you and stay open to that possibility, there will be communication. This is especially important when working with the plant kingdom, trees and flowers, elementals, and fairy energy. Be a person worth communicating with. Open your heart and mind and express your desire. In that way, new bonds and cords of understanding can grow between the human world and the wonders all about us. You know, what's interesting, because before I started doing these readings today, that's exactly what I did. I did a meditation. I grounded myself, connected with spirit and communication, and asked for spirit to communicate as well. And they will communicate if we invite them in to communicate with us. But this also goes for our human being counterparts as well. You know, when we think about the strength in reverse up ahead, the Eight of Ghosts energy, sometimes we do have to walk away from people because they are not going to be communicating in a healthy way, or they will live in their jealousy and their lower vibrational energy, and they will try to hold us back and not promote positive things for us. Yet we can still be vessels of love and light. We can still come forward in healthful and positive communication. We don't have to become, we don't have to walk in the same energy because somebody else's scattered energy may be near us. In divination, this card means you are not being asked to make assumptions. Excuse me, let me start over. In divination, this card represents you are being asked not to make assumptions. Be open to possibilities that seem to be outside rational expectation. Attempts to communicate with beings from other realms, within nature, spiritual planes, or even just humans, it is thought there is no chance of speaking to or being understood by. Be open and express the desire for communication. Be more lateral and less literal about the way communication can take place. Be a being worth communicating with. This will go far. And in fact, it sure will. As you're communicating and working in cooperation with other people, creating and manifesting those wishes because of your personality skills, your affability, your passion, your ability to create, but also this loving energy that you've been in. People respond to love, especially people that are feeling in chaotic energy. They really, really respond to the love that you can provide for them. So when you bring your messages forth in a loving way, you will find that there is indeed a great strength in that. And that's how you can help calm down other people's anxieties and also find yourself less affected by any negativity or any abuse of strength that other people might be directing towards you.